Newsday continues here on One News Now. I'm Riza Diaz. The Health Department reports over 7,300 new COVID-19 infections. The total caseload now stands at 1,300,000, in which almost 60,000 are still active. Now, at least 137 individuals lost their battle against COVID-19 overnight, while 7,701 fortunately survived the respiratory disease recently. The Health Department is urging NCR Plus residents to keep their guards up, even as restrictions are gradually eased. This as Visayas and Mindanao continue to report an increase in COVID-19 infections. Faith Del Mundo has the report.
The Health Department reports a steady increase in COVID-19 cases and hospitalizations in some provinces. With this, the DOH reminds residents in the NCR Plus to keep their guards up despite the loosening of some restrictions in the bubble. They also believe that placing NCR Plus under the extended GCQ with restrictions was successful in lowering COVID-19 cases.
Sa tingin po namin talagang naging epektibo because nakita po natin talaga yung patuloy na pagbaba ng kaso dito po sa NCR Plus bubble.
In the Laging Handa public briefing, Health Undersecretary Maria Rosario Berheres said the daily average in the bubble right now is at 1,000 cases. That's a huge decrease from the 5,000 daily average of COVID-19 cases reported from March and April. With that, NCR might be considered as a safe zone soon. But Berheres reminded the public to remain cautious of their movement.
NCR, malapit na ho tayo doon sa tinatawag nating safe zone, but if the other regions are having this kind of increase in the number of cases, we have to treat this matter with caution kasi very fragile ang sitwasyon natin at maaring bumalik tayo ulit sa dati.
Berheres said some regions, particularly Visayas and Mindanao, are experiencing an increase in new cases and hospitalization. The country's vaccine rollout, Berheres reported that 98% of our supply of COVID-19 vaccines were already distributed and the remaining 2% are only considered buffer stock. Some LGUs temporarily halted their vaccine rollout. But with the new batch of vaccine doses in the country, Berheres assured the public that vaccination can be resumed soon.
The overall challenge should always be the supplies, no? So, bagamat kahit gaano natin gustong palawakin at pabilisin ang ating pagbabakuna, kung ang supplies po ay hindi pa stable, talagang may challenge po tayo lahat.
Around 60% of the new batches of the COVID-19 jobs will be allocated to regions with high number of cases. But she reminds them that the vaccines are not the only solution in controlling the spread of COVID-19. Berheres emphasizes the need to follow health safety protocols like wearing of face masks and face shields. For News 5, Faith Del Mundo, we are One News.
The OCTA Research Group reports that some areas in Visayas and Mindanao continue to see a surge or an upsurge in COVID-19 cases. In an interview here on One News Now, Professor Guido David explained that the NCR Plus have been reporting less number of infections in the past few weeks. However, the same cannot be said in Visayas and Mindanao.
So what we're seeing is, outside the NCR Plus, like we mentioned, in the Mindanao area, also now in Western Visayas, in Negros Oriental, and also in Leyte, and even in Bicol, the Bicol region, in Camarines Sur, specifically in Naga and in Legazpi, we're seeing rise in cases.
David, meanwhile, called on the public to continue following health protocols, even if the government has been easing restrictions. He noted that reminding people about the importance of compliance remains a challenge for the research group.
We are actually concerned that when we ease restrictions, one of the aspects we have to look into is how to, spread the information that the virus is still there and that we should still refrain from social gatherings because this is a significant source of community transmission.
Now in world news, South Africa's vaccine rollout continues to stagger as the country's order of Johnson & Johnson vaccines is in limbo because of a recent U.S. ruling. The South African government ordered 31 million of single-dose shot. However, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration flagged some batches of the J&J vaccine for being contaminated during production in a Baltimore plant. They cleared out 300,000 J&J doses for delivery to South Africa. The African nation targets to inoculate two-thirds of its 60 million population this year. UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson is poised to delay the final stage of ending the economic lockdown in England. This as the COVID-19 variant from India continues to spread. Let's watch this report from Bloomberg.
British Prime Minister Boris Johnson has hinted that he will delay the end of the UK's virus restrictions as cases of the Delta variant surge. Officials now say they will study the latest data before making an announcement tomorrow. The pandemic rules were to be lifted on June 21st. Johnson spoke to reporters on the sidelines of the G7 summit.
The roadmap was always cautious but irreversible, and in order to have an irreversible roadmap, you've got to be cautious, and we'll be spelling out exactly what we'll be doing on Monday. Now, I'm afraid you'll have to wait till Monday to get the full picture.
But it sounds like Johnson has also clashed with EU leaders, warning the UK may suspend parts of the Brexit agreement if a dispute over trade rules for Northern Ireland is not resolved. The Prime Minister said that Britain could act unilaterally unless the bloc agrees to a compromise when the grace period expires at the end of this month. Denmark's Christian Eriksen is in stable condition after collapsing on the field during a Euro 2020 match against Finland. The Danish Football Federation said he was awake when he was taken to the hospital. Eriksen collapsed in the 43rd minute, with several medics working frenetically to give him chest compressions. Finland won the match 1-0 when it resumed 90 minutes later. Iran has cast doubt on the chances of reviving a nuclear accord with world powers before electing a new president next week. Deputy Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi told State TV that a final conclusion won't be possible this week after diplomats convened a sixth round of negotiations in Vienna yesterday. He also said the outcome of Iran's election will have no bearing on the talks. And Blue Origin has raised $28 million by auctioning a seat to company founder Jeff Bezos on his ride into space next month. The company says the identity of the winner won't be revealed for a few weeks. Saturday's live auction followed weeks of online bidding with more than 7,000 submissions from 159 countries. Global news 24 hours a day, on air and on Bloomberg Quick Take, powered by more than 2,700 journalists and analysts in more than 120 countries. I'm Simone Foxman. This is Bloomberg.
Now, for more updates, visit News 5, the Philippine Star, and Business World Online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on Signal Play app. Register for a free account now at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. I'm Riza Diaz. We are One News.